Good morning. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Oh my gosh, y'all are amazing. Thanks so much for being here. It's so great to see you. And wherever you are in this world, I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. It's a great weekend. How are y'all doing? I'm so excited to tell you about April. Listen, April, I know it's like 2 weeks away, but it's better to give you some things to expect now so you can prepare because remember, March is still active. We just came after that lunar eclipse. Oh, but how did everyone feel? So let me tell you something about the lunar eclipse in Virgo that we just went through. As I said, Virgo is all about health, but it can be, it depends on your sign, or even just what you're experiencing um, in terms of physical health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, all of that. And I'm not sure if I think I don't know if I said this. I may have did a story on Instagram or something. Um, I have my moon in Virgo at 28 degrees. So clearly, this full blood moon, total lunar eclipse in Virgo that was at 24 degrees hit my, Virgo moon. So I really felt it. And as you know, I've been sick for a while. I did your readings the past 2 weeks while I had the flu. And that's why I have a lozenge in my mouth right now because I'm still getting over it. But what's really funny is that I was getting better. Excuse me. I was getting better. And then that eclipse happened. And the night of the eclipse, well, the night before the eclipse, the moon was already in Virgo, right? So it was already like a full moon. But anyway, I could not sleep. Did anyone get any sleep? With these eclipses, as I mentioned in I think it was in my last live stream. Listen, the moon affects all of us. The moon affects animals, affects it's how our ocean tides are locked. It affects humans. We know it affects water. We're made of 80% water, so it's going to affect us. But if it's on your moon, that's clearly going to affect you. So I went to bed around like 4, 5 a.m. I, always have to wake up early to take Ruby out. And so I didn't get any sleep this week. It was yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It was yesterday where after I took Ruby out, I got home around 9 in the morning. I passed out on my couch and I woke up at 4 p.m. How crazy is that? So I hope everyone is really taking care of their health, and I hope you're finding ways to get some sleep. Let me know if you really if it impacted you. I check the Schumann's resonance every day, and yeah, it's been off the charts. Again, I showed you that in the last live stream. And so that affects us as well. The solar flares, we're at peak maximum still this year. That's what we're going to be feeling. And through March, again, use this time this week. Please use this time to let go of anything that you need to let go, especially those Virgo attributes that I talked about. Any sort of perfectionism. Are you working so hard over the clock, ignoring everything else? Being, having that perfectionist quality, or being hard on yourself. Are you being hard on yourself? Are you being critical on yourself? Self-critical. We want to get rid of that because that I've been talking about this for months, that this is it. March is the first month of the biggest change in modern human history for 2025. That's this year. And so it starts this month, and you don't want to take any of that energy into what we're about to move into. It starts now. That eclipse was, even though it was hard for a lot of people, it's clearing that energy, but you've got to allow it. You have to take that moment. You have to really go within and do any of that purification, that detoxing. Virgo is a sign of purity. And again, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, all of that, because you want to be prepared for what's happening this week when we hit the equinox. As I said, that's the beginning of the year. It's the beginning, and then we move into the last week of March. I don't know if you just saw my community post. Oh my goodness, it's a big one. Yeah, so it's a great time. It's a great time. Work on your vision boards. You're never going to have Neptune in Pisces again. You're never going to have Neptune in Pisces again. That's the perfect like visualization, imagination, creativity, dreams, all of that. You're never, remember, Neptune is leaving Pisces forever. Forever. So you're never going to get this time again when Neptune is conjuncting the North Node, your destiny in Pisces. Please do the vision boards. I explain. Is it? Wait, I explained it right in your current readings. Like it builds as neural pathways, and even meditation. It rewires your brain. Take that time out. Take that time out. Okay. I want the best for you. That's why I'm here for you. All right. Mercury's gone retrograde. So Mercury's now retrograde for the next 2.5 weeks. So take that time, reassessing, reevaluating. That's what Mercury retrograde is for, to reassess, reevaluate, to really go deep. And a lot of things from the past, think about, like, they're going to come up. People from the past, remember, we have a very unique double retrograde, Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde. In fact, this has been such a bonkers year already. Actually, since November. Since November, we've had at least one inner planet, like a personal planet, which would include, like the sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, at least one retrograde. So we've been going through some heavy, heavy retrogrades, like since November. And now, when we get to April, over. It's done. Buckle up AF. Buckle up AF. I'm excited to tell you about April. Your life is changing. It's a life-changing month. It's a life-changing month. The last week of March is completely life-changing. Once in a lifetime, 5-6 planet conjunction with the North Node. Yeah, all at that 0-degree Aries point, which I talked about. Yeah, it's pivotal. It's the degree of new beginnings. Okay? During the week of a new moon solar eclipse, the week that Neptune officially leaves Pisces and moves into Aries, the last week of March, we're building up to that. And so again, everybody's life is changing. Everybody's. It does not matter what sign you are. Everybody's life is changing. Everyone's, okay? And you want to not bring any energy that does not serve you. Okay? Into the end of so use these. I know Mercury retrograde is always like, yeah, delays, miscommunication, but it's meant for you to rethink things. Where do I want to be by April? All right. So there's I'm going hard the first 10 minutes. Well, I do want the best for you. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. It's so great to see everybody. Rachel. Oh yes, I love Scotland. Listen, you're amazing. Thank you so much. I am feeling better, but again, I do have to have this, and I have my tea, everything like that, and it's just so crazy how it's been like a month now, and then again, I had, funny enough, because Moon Virgo, but also it all kicked off. Remember, for everybody, and this isn't just me, but for everybody, remember, it corresponds to the new moon in Virgo that we had September 2nd. So whatever you're going through now, there could have been, it's part of this cycle. So it's ending a cycle. And as you know, that I was hospitalized and another issue, my digestive issue. Virgo rules the digestive system. I have Uranus in my 6th house, and surprises, the unexpected. Anyway, so yeah, I'm everything is I'm coming over that. I'm learning a lot. And I think that, did you see my post? I had a very spiritual experience. As you know, I'm a channeler. I channel, and I have, my sources I go to all the time when I channel, right? I had someone new come through, and it was just like, whoa, where did you come from? I asked a lot of questions. I got a lot of answers, and we'll talk about that in another live stream, because I don't want to take up all your time here, but it's just a lot. Okay. But, I hope that everyone's in a good place right now. Mercury retrograde. One thing that I do want to say while Mercury is retrograde, up until like and we'll talk about it in April because Mercury will obviously go direct in April. One thing that I forgot to say, because I was getting a lot of questions about this, signing something, contracts, agreements, right? Because it's such a big month and everyone's moving into these new areas in your life, you are going to be getting offers. You are going to have new things. You're going to be launching new businesses. That's what Aries is, the entrepreneur, right? With all this Aries energy. And so one thing that I did want to address, and I forgot to do it in the live stream, is that if you are going to sign something, if you are signing any contracts, any agreements, even verbal agreements, anything like that, it's fine to do. We always advise never do it during Mercury retrograde, because it's Mercury's communication, and when it's retrograde, remember Mercury's also like the trickster, right? So you never really want to sign anything because there's going to be like gotcha moments later. However, if you are signing something, yeah, with someone from your past you've already been having conversations with, that's fine. Okay, because it all has to do with the past. Someone asked that about one of the a subscriber asked about that, about with even Venus retrograde for cosmetic surgery. She's doing her third or fourth one, and I'm sorry I don't get to answer all the questions. I get about 1,000 comments a week and so many questions, so I try to address as much as I can that everyone can take away from. Yes, that's fine, because it's still something from the past. It's not something new that you're doing. So it's okay to do that fourth cosmetic surgery while Venus is retrograde, because it's still something from the past. Okay. Now, what a month April is going to be. Does anybody have any questions so far about anything that I've met? A lot of y'all are like, oh, I can't. Yeah, no sleeping, big clearings. Good. Denise, you said, good morning. You're in California. Rough times in US now. Looking for some signs of hope. Well, I got news for you. I'm going to do it in the predictions. Well, I'm doing more predictions, and I never really wanted to be, the psychic or the clairvoyant. I mean, I am a clairvoyant. I am an empath. I didn't want to be known as that, but I feel like because there's so much misinformation right now, and there's so many I don't even want to, but there's a lot of misinformation. And so I've noticed a lot of, I don't want to use the word psychic, but, like intuitives or empaths or people who are connected, who are giving inaccurate information. And it's like, wait, what? Because you have to be unbiased, right? And then you can see them leaning toward a certain side. It's just like, what are you doing? So I am going to start doing a lot more just to help y'all out, okay? And I'm going to be a little bit more upfront and honest about, a lot of the predictions. Oh gosh, I didn't bring my book that I've made. Even the last live stream. Listen, March 8th, I did the last live stream on March 8th. I said, watch out for a big water event. You're going to know when you know. What happened 2 days later? It was the cargo vessel. It was the explosion, right? With the car, and it was unfortunate. And it was all that oil. It was I think it was US cargo ship. I talked about this. And sometimes I'll just bring something up that I predicted this last, I think it was January. I said, watch out. It's something with oil. There's going to be oil all over the water. So I already predicted that. I predicted, and 2 days after the prediction on March 8th, I said, there's going to be changes with finances of, financial system. Keep an eye out on that. And 2 days later, the stock market, the S&P, it was like the worst day since 2002. Where those are things that I'm giving you to help you, to let you understand that anyone can do this. Everyone is intuitive. Everyone has intuition. Your sixth sense, you just tap into it, okay? But I want to let you know that this is going to happen, because there's going to be things. There's always that butterfly effect. There's always that chain reaction. And so even with me talking about the financial system, that's enough to give you to say, use your intuition for you with your life and your circumstances to do what you need to do. I can't tell you what to do with your life. So I say, if I'm going to say there's going to be adjustments for the financial system, you take that how you need to take that. And whether you want to, I don't know, buy physical assets or invest in gold, like physical gold or silver, do what you need to do. But sure, I'm happy to go a little bit deeper. Okay, happy to go deeper. With all of those, I think that I don't even know what else. You know, every yeah. So one other thing, yes, with the water thing, that's not over. That's not over. So yes, I will tell you right now, there will be like another tsunami, earthquake that's going to happen. But I don't. That's the thing is like I don't want to hear to. I don't want to be here and give you anything that's going to make you fear things. This is it. This is, you know, natural disasters are every we have them all the time. You can't not expect them, right? And so that'll happen. That'll happen. It's going to be a thing, but I can't tell you when. I just know it's going to happen. I don't know. I mean, is it going to be here? I don't know. I don't know. I didn't get that information, but you know, just that's what I'm saying. It's like there's got to be some bigger things that happen. April, May, June, you're gonna see them. But at the same time, mundane astrology. Okay, so I want to make another distinction. When I do these predictions, it's not astrology, it's me as a channeler. But a lot of them line up with the astrology anyway. So that gives a little bit more, you know, accuracy. Like, but then I'll give you predictions that don't line up with astrology that no one can see coming, even with like I don't know. I predicted the golf. Remember the you know, the golf, the second thing, right? Anyway, the October hurricanes, I predicted that. Like all of that. Anyway, so just I don't want anyone to take these and live in fear and take these like, oh my gosh, something. No, that's not what this is about. And that's why I have to sometimes pull back and just be vague and let you go with your intuition and let you trust yourself with the information that I give you. Okay. Just to make that clear. Just to make that clear. And again, I think that I am going to do a little bit more because I just feel like there's still so many skeptics out there. B, I think that again, I want to prove to you that you can do this too. It takes time. It takes time. And maybe, you know, I will start doing more. I've been doing live streams where I tell you how to tap into your intuition, how to meditate, how to I be in touch with your higher self, higher mind. I do it for a reason. It helps you where you can make, you know, sound judgments. You're not doubting yourself or anything like that. But, you know, the more you trust your intuition, the greater you grow. And the greater you know, expand that ability to, you know, be intuitive, you know, your gut is your second brain, right? So, anyway. Okay. So, any questions so far? Oh my gosh. I'm really going deep here. Any questions? Just real quick before I dive into April, because April is big, and I'm going to pull up some bullet points, or what are they called? The things on the screen. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, yeah, it was, but yeah, Denise, rough times in the US right now. Yes, there's going to be March is a big thing, but again, mundane astrology, very different from personal astrology or horoscope. So it's like even even if like all these things are happening around you, like you can still thrive, you can still be successful through these times. Everyone has that potential. Everyone has that potential. Deborah, you said you couldn't sleep at all on the 13th. You went to bed at 4 a.m. Slept till 6 a.m. There you go. Was awake all day on the 15th. Slept on off all day. Then went to sleep at 7 p.m. to wake up 8 a.m. Sunday. There you go. There's the eclipse. There's the eclipse. Wow. Afro Sassy. Oh, you're a new reader or viewer or member. Oh, you say, how do you feel about reading reversals? I don't. Because every card has a light side and dark side. And so it's easy for, so there's two. Okay, let me explain this. I can do it. Actually, in one of the forecasts this week, a card came out reverse. I read it. You can read it both ways, but you got to see what the bigger story says in the reading. And a lot of readers may know reversals and do reversals, and that's great. That's good. That brings another element, but that's still like just going by the books, right? It's not, and I'm more intuitive based. And so even if a card does come up upright, I can still, if I feel a little bit of that reversal, I'll tell you. I'll walk you through it, right? And so every card has a dark side, light side. It's just, how it is, and it's how I read it. So there you go. Okay. Like, for instance, if you think about the Seven of Swords, right? The guy stealing the swords. Normally and usually when it comes up, it's like you're not being honest with yourself, you're skirting some things, you got to face your reality, or you're doing something very deceptive, or someone's doing that to you. But at the same time, there is a positive side to it. And it is like, yeah, you're actually getting away with something and you're doing a really good job at it. Right. So there you go. So it really is, everyone has a different technique. I'm more intuitive based. And that's why I don't have to do reversals. Some readers may have to, but it's also their preference. Yeah. Okay, so Karen, you said that's so exciting. You started channeling a new entity. Yeah, I cannot. It blew me away. It blew me away. Okay, so let me start like jumping into April, okay? Because I want to try to get to every sign on what every sign can expect, but I may run out of time. The main thing about April, I have some banners. Let me do this. Okay, so April, it's gonna be a month of surprises, progress, and it's just gonna be completely life changing. And I say that because the 5-6 planetary conjunction that we're having at the 0 degree Aries point at the end of March, with a new moon new moon solar eclipse on the 29th of March, with Neptune moving into Aries on the 30th of March, that once in a lifetime week. Like, we're never going to have a week like that, right? Ever again. Neptune and Pisces at the 29 degree. No one's going to experience this in their lifetime. And we've never experienced this. Nobody on this planet. And so you're going to be feeling that kickoff, that new moon solar eclipse. Remember, it's 10 times the power of a new moon. So it's happening at the end of the month. So everyone's going to be going through major change. Everyone's going to be going through major change in April. Okay. Big month. All right. So you can expect changes. You can expect really big breakthroughs. Uranus is very active. That's why I say surprises. Okay. And it's good surprises. And if you perceive them as not great surprises, you have to perceive them as good surprises, because it's all making room for your path. Okay. It's saying that you didn't get rid of this that you were supposed to with that lunar eclipse. But anyway, we're moving into a lot of fire and air. Okay. And that's why April, you're going to feel it. Okay. All this Aries energy is fire, right? And then we just have a lot of like that happening. But, we still have some like earth activity. And anyway, big month. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down and give you the best days of April for you to take advantage of. Okay. And I also just want to remind you, remember, we're leaving all this Pisces energy behind. Pisces is the end of the zodiac. Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. Neptune's leaving Pisces. The sun is, leaving. It's already left. No, in a few days we'll be leaving Pisces, amplifying that Aries energy with a new moon eclipse in Aries, with all these planets in Aries. So again, Saturn moving into Aries, right? The beginning, the new, entrepreneurial, pioneering, the I am. It's all about you. What do you want? What do you want to get? You're going to feel very driven, and I'm going to explain why. Now, the way to see April, and what I'm going to do is, what's really interesting about April is that it's going to be a chunk of dates that I'm going to give you. Okay. There's not just one day that's the best, or, for everybody. And I'm going to give you the challenging dates too, but they come in clusters. It's very interesting. The first cluster will be April 4th to 7th. So right off the bat, you're going to feel it, and you're going to and what's happening April 4th to 7th, you're going to feel days before. So as soon as April begins, days after. So the first essentially 2 weeks of April, bonkers. Bonkers. Okay? The first is April 4th. The reason why? You've got Saturn sextile Uranus, you have Mars sextile Uranus, and then you have Mars trine Saturn. Hello, this is really strong. The Saturn sextile Uranus, the first 2 weeks, you're going to feel it. It's going to be absolutely strong. And Uranus, remember, is a great awakener. It's all about your breakthroughs. It's very progressive. It's all about progress. It's also surprises and the unexpected. Yeah. And it's sextiling Saturn the first time, like I said, it's been forever, many decades since this has happened. So that's happening while Mars is sextiling Saturn. Yeah. You only get this twice a year, Mars sextile Saturn. So again, you're going to feel this the first 2 weeks, especially the first 10 days of April, strongest, especially around April 4th to 7th. Mars is all about drive and passion. You have no idea. Remember, sextiles are these windows of opportunity, right? And so you have these opportunities of these fresh new beginnings, of these breakthroughs. And then you've got Mars trine Saturn. We've, talked about this. We've already had it. Remember, I said in your 2025 forecast that Mars trine Saturn typically, we only have like twice a year. It's, average. But because of the retrogrades, Mars retrograde and all that, we're lucky to have it 3 times this year. We already had it, remember, back in February, and then we're going to have it now. And remember, these are the 2 malefic planets that are working for you now, working hard for you. Saturn is making you an authority. Saturn is stabilizing things for you, structure. It brings a lot more responsibility. Yeah, but whoa, talk about like building for your future here. And something that I'll mention in your April forecast, and that's something that I'm going to do here is, again, remember, I don't want to repeat what I'm going to say in your April, monthly forecast for all 12 signs, is that all these aspects, Saturn sextile Uranus, Mars sextile Uranus, Mars trine Saturn, they're all happening at 25 degrees, the Aries degree, cardinal degree. So when I say this is all happening just days after that new moon, solar eclipse in Aries, when all these planets are at the 0 degree Aries point, when I say new beginnings, this is a brand new era for you. This is a brand new era, okay? Please take advantage. What is your vision moving forward? You got to take that action. Mars is all about action, okay? You see great aspects here with Uranus and Saturn, okay? Now, the next day, April 5th, the Sun sextile Jupiter and Venus trine Mars. So, and this is April 5th, 6th, depending on where you live, but again, you're going to feel this days before, days after. Amazing. The Sun sextile Jupiter, one of the best aspects ever. One of the best aspects ever. That only happens like twice a year. And so Jupiter, luck, good fortune, expansion, abundance. Like, come on. Jupiter's been so silent since Jupiter's been gone direct in February. So this is really nice. We did have it January 25th, if you want to, but again, it was, it was the Sun in Aquarius at that time. Anyway, this is Sun in Aries, which is fire. Jupiter and Gemini's air, right? And then you got Venus trine Mars. Like, what happens when Venus and Mars gets together. So again, this is really great. This is going to be, and by the way, we're going to have Venus trine Mars again in May. And that is when it's going to be like fiery, super fiery. Venus trine Mars right now, Venus being in Pisces, Mars in Cancer, 2 water signs, so very emotionally moving. Venus is, still retrograde, so a lot of things from the past. You're a very nostalgic energy. But when we have it again in May 22nd, oh my gosh, they're going to both planets are going to be in fire signs, so that's going to be like you're going to really feel it. All right, now, oh, and well, okay, let me just do this. And then April 7th. So now you got Venus conjuncting Saturn, and Mercury is no longer retrograde. All right. So Mercury officially goes direct. So it's at this point when Mercury's direct, Mercury will still be in shadow. So you may still feel elements like it's just like Mercury still kind of has his toes in the retrograde, but he's out of it. Okay. But at this point. So now this is you having processed, reassessed everything that you want moving forward. Now it's you not looking back. It's like, okay, now I'm applying it. Now I'm doing the thing that I'm doing. All right. So this is a big deal. This is a really big deal. And then Venus conjunct Saturn. Listen, this is another big deal. This is Venus. This is everything that your heart desires. This is love. This is relationships. It's money. It's creativity. It's conjuncting Saturn, which is stability, structure. But this is very like make it or break it. Okay. There could be something here with business colleagues, an authority. We're talking about Saturn. There could be something here again from the past. It's Venus retrograde. Okay. Or, the way that you're thinking in the past. But this is Saturn who is coming in hard with this conjunction. Okay. So really bringing in those reality checks. Like you got to know at this point, what do you want moving forward, especially with Mercury going direct? Mercury's conjuncting Saturn too. At this point, or it's like by this point, you're going to have to be willing to commit to the things that you want moving forward. All right. No more retrograde, like no more dilly dally. So again, everybody's been going through that, like, what? Because Mars was retrograde. Starting last November, Venus was retrograde. Mercury went retrograde. Venus went, like, it's just like, and it's just been a lot of just no forward momentum. Okay. Now you have it. Write these in your books. I'm just going to throw in April 2nd here because remember, the sun is sextiling Jupiter on the 4th, but you're going to feel it. It's applying now. April 2nd, but Jupiter, the moon is going to be in Gemini, conjuncting Jupiter again. So remember, this happened, I think it was March 3rd, March 4th. That could have been the best day for you in March when the moon was conjuncting Jupiter. It was for me. There were so many great things that happened. I was like, whoa, like out of nowhere. So pay attention to this day, around this day. Okay. But again, April 4th to 7th, big chunk of days. That's the peak. That's when all the planets are perfecting, but you'll feel it days before, days after, just the first like 10 days of April. Okay. Now, another day you're going to love. Mars moves into Leo April 17th. Oh my diddly day. So Mars is officially out of Cancer. Out of all 12 signs, Mars does the absolute worst in Cancer. And we've had that since what, September, October? I mean, it was, it dipped into Leo for a little bit. Wow. So Mars is like, remember, Mars, the god warrior, right? I've made this analogy. He's at a housewarming party doing air kisses. He does not like holding babies. He does not like that because Cancer is all about the home and loved ones and doesn't like that. Okay. This is big. You're going to start feeling things pick up big. Okay. Mars and Leo. This is loud and proud. This is being your authentic self. This is self-expression, personal power, creativity, all of that. Okay. I mean, big. I think I even did in the live stream. I think it was like the new era is coming, what all 12 signs can expect. I talked about this. Because Mars was in Leo November 4th to December 4th. and then went retrograde. So at this time, you are going to go full force, but think about what were some things that you wanted to launch, that you wanted to do, ambitions that you had, goals that you had back in November to like December 6th. No, actually, no, it was retrograde December 6th to January 6th. So from December 6th to January 6th, what are some things that you wanted to do, your ambitions, big goals, but nothing really happened? Maybe there were like a lot of egos that play around that time because Mars and Leo can be ego too. And then Mars went retrograde in Leo, and it doesn't, no, Mars is not like being retrograde. So now you're coming back to that. Things from that time are coming up, and you're just going to go like you're running with it. So remember, Mars is still going to be in shadow for a little bit. Really gets strong at the beginning of May, but still, this is amazing. Mars and Leo. Okay, so gets really strong in May, and we'll be there all month until about June. And remember, when Mars went retrograde, Pluto actually retrograded back. It was back in Capricorn too. I mean, it was a weird time. November, and I talk about that in your weekly forecast coming up. Like I do address November. That's when a lot of things started happening. Okay, so happy birthday, Taurus. Well, happy birthday, any Aries right now. And Pisces. Oh my gosh. We have 4 more days of Pisces. So happy birthday, Pisces. By the way, if you're a Pisces, your life is changing, okay? In a big way. All right? Because what's happening this month is going to have a huge impact on you. With like 5 planets conjuncting in your sign with the North Node at the end of this month. You've been feeling it. Your life is changing. Any Pisces, it doesn't matter. Any Pisces, your life is changing enormously. So really pay attention to April. Happy birthday to any Aries coming up. Your life is changing too. Enormously. Okay? Every sign, your life is changing enormously. Okay? Happy birthday, Taurus, when we get to April 19th. Your life is changing too. So now, another set of dates I want to address, April 24th to the 26th. So, because here's the thing. Let me see. Okay. So, April 12th, by the way, Venus goes direct. So, not only does Mercury go direct, Venus goes direct. So, no more planets retrograde after April 17th, because that's when Mars goes direct. All right. So, just keep that in mind. April 12th, Venus goes direct. It's still going to be in Pisces, I think all month. So now you got Venus in Pisces conjuncting Saturn again, but Venus is direct now. It's conjuncting Saturn and the North Node, a couple others, but these are the big ones, right? Pay attention. Please pay attention to this day. Or these set of dates, especially April 25th, when Uranus will sextile the North Node. I mean, this is strong. So this is when you're going to start feeling like really big winds of change with all the planets direct, with Mars in Leo, which is fiery. Mars is different. It's very fiery. All right. This is all about your purpose, your destiny, your mission statement. You're changing. Everyone's feeling this. This is Uranus, breakthroughs, right? Progress, the unexpected as well. You're going to feel this up until about June. This is strong right here. This is really strong. And then over this set of dates, even like the day before, like remember Venus conjuncting Saturn in the North Node. Again, Saturn is going to be really hard now. Okay. I just want you to know that. It's 25 degrees. He's going to be really hard. He's going to be like, what are the changes? You got it. You got what changes do you want? So you got to know. You got to know. Because it's with your North Node. And this is a day where the moon is it's gonna be like, it's the moon, North Node, Saturn, Venus, Neptune, Mercury, they're all conjuncting in Pisces again. So remember what I said, that, well, the thing that's happening at the end of March like the 5-6 planet conjunction, whatever that's over the 0 degree point, it's still happening pretty much April. Okay, but it's really strong at the end of March because it has that eclipse. Now, I'm gonna give you some challenging. I'm gonna give you one block of challenging days. Okay, they're gonna be April 23rd to the 27th. All right, I'm gonna tell you why. And you know this overlaps the set of dates that I just gave you. Okay, with Uranus excelling North Node, Venus conjuncting Saturn. I mean, those are strong days. It's remember, you want to use the aspects, don't let them use you. So that's why this is such a strong point of time, April 23rd to the 27th, okay? Because you got those big things happening. But April 23rd, you have the Sun square Pluto, all right? So, you know, the Sun is in Taurus at this time, Pluto's in Aquarius. Those are two fixed signs. So it can be a little challenging if you're, you know, you could feel a little, you know, it's fixed energy. It's not like budgeable. So you got to work with this energy. Yeah. Okay. And then April 24th, remember Venus is direct at this time, and I just talked about this, that Venus is conjuncting Saturn again, but Venus direct this time, and Saturn's just going to be really, really like, okay, I've given you some opportunity. Like, do you know what you want? I'm going to work with love, with relationships, with the things that you desire, right? This is your time to build, to use Saturn. Okay. And then April 25th, we have Mars opposite Pluto. And so that's strong. Mars and Pluto are, this is come at me, bro energy. And remember, I told you back in January, we're going to have this again in April. Okay. And remember, this happened January 3rd. So if you can think about some of the things that were happening around the beginning of the new year, right? And there was a lot. So it's coming back around, right? Mars and Leo opposite Pluto in Aquarius. Keep that in mind. A lot of ego here, a lot of power tripping. But again, in your life, it's just how you handle it. You know, for me personally, like, you know, I'm an Aquarius. I got Pluto in Aquarius, right? I actually have Saturn in Leo. Mars was on my anyway. So I was fine. There was, you know, some things I was like, okay, I'll change this. So it's how you use this energy. But I'm just saying it can be challenging with the fact that you've got the Sun squaring Pluto too, and Venus conjuncting Saturn. That makes it powerful. Conjunctions are powerful, and that's why I'm going to bring up April 27th, the new moon in Taurus. New moons are great. I like Venus here. You know, Venus is Taurus's ruler. I like that. Venus conjuncting Neptune, I think at that time too. Yep. But remember, the moon is going to be squaring Pluto and Mars. All right. So it's not the easiest new moon, but you can still set intentions, the things that you want moving forward. And you're going to be fine. But those are just like it's going to be more the end of the month. And listen, the first 2 weeks of April, they can be really strong because of the aspects, but they're all favorable aspects. Just know that things will like things can move really fast now, okay? In the beginning of April, but that's why I want you to use this time to plan things. Where do you want to be when we get to April? What are the changes that you want? What are the breakthroughs that you want to have? One other thing, I'll write it here in the thing, so you can have it. One other thing is, you know, I'll talk about this in your April forecast and your weekly forecast even more. But and your April forecast may be a little bit shorter because because the way that I'm planning it is like after that I'm going to do the first half of April because it's only April 4th and 6th you have that chunk of dates and there's really everything else is kind of quiet. But I'm just gonna put this here for you if you want to write that down. But April 12th is when we have the full moon in Libra, and it's the same day that Venus goes direct. Finally, right? Because Venus has been retrograde since March 1st, which for now it's only 2 weeks long, but you see, like Venus retrograde 6 weeks, right? So Venus officially goes direct. Venus, rules Libra as well. We have a full moon in Libra, so remember that's culmination, the end of things. It's in Libra. It could be relationships and partnerships, contracts, agreements, things like that. It will be square Mars. There can be like open enemies. The end of maybe like if you've been not seeing eye to eye with someone. I do like that the sun is going to conjunct Chiron. Jupiter will trine the moon there, so you've got that luck and blessings. But the full moon and the new moon in April, they're big, but not as intense as the eclipses that we came out of. Okay, so that's April. Oh my gosh, look at my hair. I didn't do anything. I didn't put anything in my hair. All right. So does anybody have any questions so far? I gotta put in my other I did my other lozenge. I already did, right? I'm supposed to have one back to back. I think I did. Deborah, you said cyclones in Australia with lots of flooding. Yes. And hopefully everything's okay there. There's just going to be a lot more water stuff. Sugar Hooker. I love your name. 365. What is the date of the change of the financial system? Well, it's not a date. It's a process. So, it's just remember I said on March 8th pay attention now, and then it happened on Monday where the stocks dropped and but there's a fluctuation and it's just a process that you're going to see for the next 2 months. Okay, it's just a process, but there's no one day. Diana used to say basically all the things you channel are events that have already been written, planned. That's a really good question. So usually, and I forget to do this, but I should say it all the time. When I give predictions, I usually say for the current timeline because there's so many timelines, and that's why some I feel stronger. Those are the ones where I'm just like, okay, yeah, this is gonna, I'm pretty confident. But then some that I see are, could be on different timelines. So it really, no, nothing's like the future hasn't been written. I just see what's possible in a really strong capacity to the point where I'm confident to say, okay, it does appear that this is a timeline that we're going to be on. So I can confidently say this. In my notebook, I had so many things that were on the middle that I didn't say, because remember back last year, I did 6 months in advance. I gave you for 6 months, I was confident for, and there was a lot of things in there that I was just I don't know, because I was looking back at my book today, my what was it? Springfield. Remember the whole thing with Springfield? That was in my book about the Haiti community and things like that. But it was a 50-50 for me. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And I didn't even know if it was I'm like, is this Illinois or I didn't know where. So that's why I didn't even say it in the forecast. So does that make sense? There's so many things in that book that I And maybe one day I'll show you a lot of the things that are in there. And remember, I take photos of it too, because that timestamps it. So you know that it, like, I'm not like just adding shit in, like, oh gosh, shoot stuff in. But yeah, so it's all, and that's the thing. It's just, it's timelines shift all the time, all the time. Okay. That's why I say we're co-creators. We create our reality. The more that everyone's vibrating at this high frequency, we're going to have better, future timelines. But when we continue to stay, at, fear-based and low frequency and divided, like it's where we see things through a lens of like left and right. That's not helping at all. That's not helping at all. And so that's why it's so hard to do, because it's so ego-based and it's fear-based and people get emotional. And it's just at a time, and that's why I love that Pluto's in Aquarius. And you're going to see more of that. Remember, that's a 19-year process. So you're starting to see a lot of Pluto in Aquarius in action, where also with Neptune in Aries, Saturn in Aries, everything that's happening, that's raising. Remember, I said 2025 is the 4 C's. It's community, it's the collective. That's what Aquarius is. It's consciousness, everyone's consciousness. Like, what I mean, like, some things that you could never have imagined are now coming into your consciousness, right? Uh, the drones. Has that ever happened in our lifetime? No. So now that's raising your consciousness to what's possible and what's real, right? The telepathy tapes. You ever hear that? Did y'all hear that? When in history would that have been the number one podcast, right? So that's raising our consciousness with telepathy. Like, we know this stuff is real. It's all research based. It's all there. And so that's what's happening right now. Our consciousness, everyone's raising their consciousness, and hopefully continue to, because the more that you raise your consciousness, the more it's going to be easier for you to move through the big changes that we're going to have in 2025. And when I say big changes, things that you have never experienced in your lifetime. I've said this so many times. In your annual forecast, everyone's going to experience changes you've never experienced in your lifetime, in this lifetime, this year. Okay. And so you've got to be ready, you got to be prepared, and you got to be vibrating at this high frequency, because that's the universe is testing us. Like, well, let's see how this humanity takes, goes through this, what we're going to throw at them. And so it's all about raising our consciousness and being aware of the fact that there are some things that have to break down for us to have that breakthrough, right? And I think that a lot of people are becoming a lot more aware of things like that, little things, big things. I think a lot of people are becoming aware of the fact that, what is it? 1,000 people in this world have controlled 8 billion people on this planet for, centuries. That's Pluto and Aquarius saying, no, that is actually wrong. That's why have we allowed that, right? These, governments and structure, like that's not how it works. And so remember, Pluto and Aquarius is power to the people. But again, Pluto is all about breakthroughs, but also breakdowns. Okay. So you got to have those breakdowns, have those breakthroughs. So there's just going to be a lot of things that we're going to experience as a collective. We all want to do it together, holding hands, and it's all about love. That's at the bottom line. The bottom line is all about love, the super conscious, all about love and self-love. Is where it starts. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'll have to choose this. It's all for my throat, and so my voice. I'm so sorry. You have to see me like blah. Adele Wilson TV Virgo. Hi Virgo. You're the absolute best reader on YouTube. Oh, thank you, on YouTube. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, because I do put in so much hard work. I think that I am the only one that does what I do. So I really do appreciate that, because even throughout this month, while I like even your readings that are next week and the past week, it's like there's so much information and I have to give it to them all. And while I had the flu, I did 1 hour readings for every sign, and then the bonus, spreads for tier 3 members. And then I look at some other readers. They don't give you like they don't give you what I get. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that because I had a moment. You asked when will you open up private readings? Hopefully soon. Hopefully when everything changes, and I just haven't had time. I want to remind everyone I have a full-time job. So I do your forecast. So I'm working 60 hour, it would not be fair for me to do private readings when I'm not 100% there after I'm already so exhausted and afterwards. So it's not fair. That's why I don't do it. And I love doing it. I love connecting with people one-on-one. So let's see as time moves forward. Okay. And of course I will always let you know. In my community post when I open up private readings again. But I really appreciate that, Adele. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really do. Um, okay. Jeanette, great to see you. Oh, you got everything in the first house. Oh wow. Cancer, Sun, Moon, right? Yeah, well, your life is gonna change big time when Jupiter moves into Cancer in June. That's big. That's big. And for everybody, Jupiter's exalted in Cancer. And it's part of the, 5 planets changing signs, all planets changing signs this year, but those 5 planets changing signs, just again, in this compressed period of time, like we have just not have, you can't trace that back. You can't trace that back in history. You got to go back to, BCE. Like, anyway, okay. Kat, you said I can't feel Venus and Mercury retrograde so heavy. My Gemini rising, Libra moon need a break. Yeah, well, you're about to have it. And listen, I said March is a big game changing month. So you got to work with these energies because everyone's feeling like, whoa, like so much happening. So isn't we have the moon in Libra today, don't we? Or no? Yeah, we have the moon in Libra today. It is going to be, listen, I think if the moon's in Libra, then it's opposite Mars, Chiron. It's conjuncting not serious, but anyway, yeah, so you've got emotions going on right today. Use it. Use these aspects to feel empowered, and that's everybody. Okay, even with Venus Mercury retrograde, again, Mercury just went retrograde, so they're going to be retrograde all week, the rest of the month together, and use it to reassess, reevaluate, and you will start seeing things from the past come back around. Okay, people, circumstances, how you felt, things like that. You're going to feel very nostalgic. Do you hear the church bells? Come on, perfect timing. Oh, you said you can feel. Yeah. Everyone's gonna feel it. Everyone's gonna feel it. So remember, work with those energies. I'm a Gemini rising, and hey, we're off. And Jupiter and Gemini right now, remember, is direct. Jupiter hasn't been aspecting that much this month. We'll wait until we get to the end of it. Just wait until yeah. And then when Jupiter gets a little bit more faster, like you're gonna feel it. Shannon, great to see you. Said Saturn's going to be really hard. Translation, get your together now. Yeah. Saturn is going to be, he's going to put on his aviators again. He's got the clipboard. The fake mustache, all of that. So really, but remember, he's working for you now in the best way possible. Saturn is doing so many great things, helping you build that structure. He's saying, hey, come here, let me build this bridge for you. But you got to want it. You got to work for it. Remember, Saturn requires you to work for it. But he makes everything easier. And that's what he's doing all month. But then when Venus conjunct Saturn twice in 1 month, that's kind of a big deal because it's conjuncting your North Node as well and a bunch of other planets. And that's when he's just kind of like, that's why you're just going to feel Saturn a lot next month. And again, it can be easy for you as long as you're doing you do what Saturn requires. He backs off. He's like, I don't need to micromanage this person. Like they're good on their own. So that's why I'm saying, like, just if you can use these to your advantage, you're gonna be fine. So just keep that in mind. And it's with Saturn, I'm sorry, with Venus. So a lot of it will be relationships. Relationships will be tested. It can be love, it can be family, whoever it is. It can be, creative partners. Just keep that in mind. So what okay, so anyone Coco, April full moon. It's supposed to be huge for me. You're a triple air sign. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a big one. It's a big one. I mean, you got the full moon in Libra, okay, that affects everybody in terms of partnerships and relationships. So again, those are ending for a lot of people, or a chapter, right? Okay, maybe you're ascending another area. Maybe you've been going steady with someone, and that Libra full moon's like, okay, that's done. Now we're uh getting proposed to or something. You know what I mean? Like everyone's different. Everyone's different. But yeah, because Jupiter's in the mix, which is really nice. Jupiter being an air sign, Pluto's there as well. Air sign. So mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Lori, thank you so much. You look great. I don't even thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so Adele, you asked if we have recreational international travel plans for the week of April 24th. Should we reconsider? No, no. Why? Go for it. Go for it. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be absolutely fine. There's nothing in there. The only time you don't really want to travel is when Mercury's retrograde, because Mercury rules transportation and travel. But again, it really depends. It's advised not to travel only because remember Mercury's a trickster. He can just make he can delay your flight. He can, mess up your hotel reservation, things like that. But it's just you don't want to live fear-based. So as I've mentioned in a lot of live streams, I've traveled so much during Mercury retrogrades. Nothing happens. It just depends on you. I mean, the most that would happen is like a flight delay for an hour or something, right? So it's really up to you. And it's usually just the Mercury retrograde. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's just going to be a big weekend. Or the April 24th through the 27th. It's just going to be a strong time, but there's no reason why you shouldn't. No, because you don't want to live you don't want to live in fear. You're going to be fine. Mars is going to be opposite Pluto. It really just depends on your chart too. There just maybe some things that happen, but you can say that for any day. Some things can happen any day, right? Greg, great to see you. You're Libra Sun, Pisces Moon, Gemini Rising. Yeah, I'm so happy I discovered you here on YouTube. I love your energy. Thank you. Well, thank you, Greg. I'm so glad to hear that. I really appreciate it. I love you, y'all. That really helps me. That encourages me to keep going. And I'm so grateful in general. I really just, I love what I do. I hope that you can see my passion when I do this for every sign. I want the best for every sign. I want everyone to, live their best life. We're only here. We got one life to live. I want everyone to take advantage of. I want to help you plan things out too. So I really do appreciate that very much. Thanks so much, Greg. Gemini rising. Hey, we got Gemini and Jupiter and Gemini until June, mid-June. Amazing. More great things to come for you. More great things to come for you. And by the way, I think I told you this, but when we get to June, one of the best days of actually June has the luckiest days of all of 2025. Okay. So that's something to look forward to. It's really amazing. And then we have that absolutely wonderful, beautiful new moon that's happening late June in Cancer that will be conjuncting Jupiter. Oh my goodness. Like, that is insane. And then we have an absolutely amazing new moon in Gemini at the end of May. There's so much great stuff to look forward to. Things are going to be changing in the world. You're going to start seeing that now. But everyone's going to have you vibrate at that frequency, you're going to be fine. Matthew Maverick. I love your last name, Maverick. very deep and sometimes overwhelming, can totally feel big changes coming. Yes, thanks for all your dedication to us on this. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, there's big changes, and I hope, and that's the other thing. You feel it. You've got to feel it at this point. You've got to feel the big changes. And again, that's why you trust your intuition when you're in touch with, your higher mind. You feel it more. You feel it, like, you really, really feel it. And you know it, and you sense it, and you prepare, and and a lot of it's good. Like, I feel the great changes, I feel other changes. That's what the world is. That's what I talked about, polarities. You can't have good without bad. You can't have, light without dark. You gotta, meet in the middle. um Danielle, great to see you. I can see the bright and lovely moon from my bedroom. Oh, that's amazing. You slept with your shutters open. You feel the moon speaks to you as a Cancer sun. Yes. And that's another thing that I've said to other live streams. Speak to the moon. Speak to the moon. Everything is made of energy, down to the molecular level, on a quantum level, on a spiritual level. So when you speak, you're creating energy. And so when you speak to the moon, you're creating that energy, right? That it's so much stronger. It's and always on that higher frequency. Okay? Because the moon is a big thing. I talked about the moon in the last live. I mean, like, like all ancient cultures always had, there's 8 phases of, we've always had moon rituals. Every ancient culture did moon rituals. Every ancient culture spoke to the moon. The moon was it's always been something that changes our lives. So always a great thing to speak things out loud. So I love that. Sugar hooker. Will it be difficult if you have done your homework? I'm not sure what. Do you want to elaborate? I don't know what will be difficult if you've done your homework, but no, if you've done your homework, nothing will be difficult. I think you're talking about Saturday. Yeah, you do your work, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. It's all about doing the work and not letting Saturn, again, just think of Saturn as like a micromanager. Do you want him on your back? No. So you gotta do the work and show him, like, I got this, I can do this. And he's gonna go off and try to find the water cooler to drink all the water. Deborah, great to see you. So, having meditation on March 20th for compensation, hoping it will go well, and expect to have relationship challenges, conversations after this. Yeah, there you go. Listen, a meditation, like I said, it rewires your brain. It does so much for you. It slows your heart rate. Meditation works. Meditation works. And it will go well. It will go well. You know it will. All right? I know it will. I know it will. So y'all, thank you so much. Does anybody have any other questions? Like, I have to go. I have to, like, rest again. I really need to just get better because I got to do your April forecast, and there's just so much happening in April. Like, what I just told you is not even, there's so much more. There's so much more. But I mean, that's the gist of it. April, thankfully, remember March it was like, there was so many aspects in March, and I was like, how do I even do this? Because there's so much happening in March, and it was a little overwhelming. And April, thankfully, it's like less aspects. So, but it is, remember, everything that's happening at the end of March it's like your rocket ship. Yeah. Into April. So I'm going to drop your forecast this week, as always. Some of them have gone over an hour so far. There's a lot happening. There's a lot happening. So, what is that? I got something on my lips. Oh, is that lip balm thing? Anyway, does anybody have any last questions that I can answer about April? And maybe, like, you tell me if, like, I'm gonna do the oh, Tammy, you're a newbie. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for being members, and thank you all for being members. I mean, it really does. You have no idea. Like it's like night and day. How much it helps me do these and helps support me. So I really do appreciate it, and you know that I'm extremely grateful, especially for this moment, like this 3-year anniversary for me. I can't even believe it's been 3 years. Um, my Gemini rising is really like chatty today. Oh great, more okay. So Meg, you said I feel like I keep picking up other people's energy when asking my guides for answers related to me. How do I know the questions to ask to get images and answers to me and not others? Well, that's a really good question. Two things. It's like really, really, spending a lot more time focusing and trusting like your intuition, your body, everything, right? But at the same time, there may be a reason why you're getting other people's energy when you're asking questions, related to you. So I would consider that. I would consider that. But again, it's all based on your intuition. I can't tell you either way, but you know, when that it never well, yeah, I think that there's been moments when maybe it has happened, but I think it's just like maybe there's another time you need to do it. Maybe that's not the right time. So but just consider what it means that other people are coming up. Okay. Um, oh, okay. Sugar Hooker, you said if you have prepared for the financial change and have already removed what doesn't serve you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But remember, it's going to be a process. It's just adjustments. Listen, it's, it's going to be something that you're going to see a little bit more of just adjustments happening. And again, everyone's in different situations, and it's even if you just look at the markets, you see that things are a little right. So it's just preparing for you, knowing what to do, trusting your intuition. That's why it's so much better when you can trust your intuition. That's why when I say this, like you run with it. Like, okay, like what do I need to do? What do I need to do? My life is very different from Jimmy's. My life is very different from this person's. Like, what do I need to do for me? Right? Knowing that there may be adjustments to markets and the financial system and money and things like that. Um, Look into new things. Use these Uranus aspects for breakthroughs. This is a great time with everything at the 0-degree Aries point. So let me tell you what I did. I looked into, for the first time in my life, um, like gold, like physical gold. Um, that's where my intuition led me. And so that's what I did. I was like, okay, maybe instead of, putting money in savings here, maybe I should just buy physical gold and just see what happens. Trying new things, right? So just I mean, whatever works for you. So that's what I was just like, that's me. Um Danielle, welcome Tammy to the community. I'm so glad that y'all are here. Okay, so I'm gonna let y'all go. So y'all, it's 12:50. Oh gosh. Okay, so maybe I will do well, listen, I'm gonna do your April forecast anyway. They're gonna come out very soon. This week, it's gonna be the the end of March. Okay. So your forecast for like the 21st, 4th to the 31st. Listen, I'm not messing around. I'm not messing around. Neptune moving into Aries is a big deal. And I'm going to talk more about that in the second live stream because there are some things that, I want you to know about. Okay. When you look at the pattern of Neptune and Aries. Okay. So I mean, your forecasts were already an hour long. I couldn't talk about Neptune and Aries as much as I wanted to. It's such a big thing. That's the paradigm shift. Like I said, we haven't had it in over 160 years. Nobody has lived through that. And you're about to live through Neptune and Aries for 14 years. Not only Neptune and Aries, Saturn is moving into Aries in May in 2 months. So you're going to have Neptune and Saturn in Aries together, while Uranus moves into Gemini and Jupiter moves into Cancer over the summer all together. So when I say your lives are changing, where do you want to be? Always put yourself where you want to be and Know, not hope, know that you're going to get there. Okay? There's a big difference. I've talked about this. When you hope this happens, when you hope this happens, you're putting it out there that there's a chance it won't happen. That's why you have to have that confidence. Say, I know this is going to happen. This will happen. Have that confidence. Have that self-love, self-belief. Okay? Especially with all this Pisces and this North Node in Pisces conjuncting like a million planets. Okay, y'all. All right. Okay, I gotta go. Thank you so much. And I gotta take some medicine. I feel so much better. And thank you. I hope everyone is doing well. And I will see you soon. Again, I'll schedule that second live stream, okay, for predictions and other things that I want to talk to you about. And I gotta do a Neptune and Aries video on its own. Okay, y'all are amazing. Happy birthday to any Aries right now. And Pisces, any Aries. And happy Sunday to everybody. Happy weekend, everybody. Remember we have the equinox coming up this week. Do it. Launch new things. Start preparing, though. Start preparing. Okay, that's all you have to do. Start preparing to put yourself on this new path, because by mid-April, when no planets are retrograde, like, you're going to be okay. But so many changes are happening for all of y'all at the end of March, beginning of April. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna go now. Thank you so much. Lori, you said, just real quickly, I see your question. How do you know where the best place to live in is? Astrocartography. Okay, just if you know your chart, or if you maybe I'll do a session, but maybe I'll do a thing on astrocartography in the future, but that's going to tell you the best place to live. But you know what I'm going to say? Trust your intuition. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. I'm going to end this now. Y'all are amazing. I really appreciate all of y'all. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you very soon. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.